Stone right there. Not very clear. Notice it's spelled with two D's. That wasn't because he spelled his name with two D's. This was erected in 1905, and the engraver, believe it or not, made a mistake. Put two D's because Madigan's either had two D's or one D, and they just made a mistake that they couldn't rectify at that time. And I'm off to visit my brother out in British Columbia. And his daughter, Gabrielle, says to me, Uncle Mike, I heard your song on the radio. I said, really? Out here in British Columbia, Newfoundland? She said, oh, yeah, it's been playing on CBC radio, and, I hear you know everything about Maggie Madigan, and it's a fascinating story. And my brother, Danny, says, and where did you say she was born? I said, she was born in the little town of Askeaton, County Limerick, Ireland. And Danny says, Askeaton? I said, yeah. I said, you're not going to believe this. Did you ever see the picture of Grandpa John's grave where Daddy's buried? And I said, no. He gets me this picture here. And he says, look closely. And the first thing I said was, well, yeah, two D's and Madigan. No. He said, look close. Native of Askeaton. My great-grandfather was born in the town of Askeaton, County Limerick, Ireland. Maggie Madigan. 2 years ago, my brother goes over to Ireland. This is the very old town of Askeaton. He goes over to Ireland. That's my brother Danny there with bald head. And he meets this gentleman by the name of Terence Madigan. You know how he meets him? He's walking down the main street of Askeaton, County Limerick, Ireland, and says, oh my gosh, that guy looks just like Uncle Kevin. This picture of Uncle Kevin. Very Madigan. Danny Madigan. Uncle Kevin just died last year, 88. And my brother Danny's going down the street, and he says, excuse me, sir. He said, you look very familiar. He said, I'm Dan Madigan from Canada. Can I know your name? Dan Madigan, he says. Terence Madigan. Glad to meet you. And he brings Danny over to his old home that he's restored. It's 250-year-old home, the thatch roof. Danny gets to meet his 95-year-old mother. Danny says, you look very much like my Uncle Kevin. And he relates the story. And Terence Madigan's mother says, yes, the Madigan that left for the Titanic was born on Church Street. And he says, great-grandfather John Madigan, who she knew, was born on Church Street. Terence, I'm not sure which street he lived on, but he made the connection right there. So I said to myself, wow. I said, this is unbelievable. So Danny says, Mike, it's up to you. You've got to go back. Or you've got to go to Askeaton. I've only been to Ireland once in my life. I was 19, had very little interest. Not even the book Roots had been written by then. I think the movie came out where everybody suddenly became interested in their ancestry. Myself and Kathy are thinking of going, not this summer obviously, but hopefully 2000 soon, yeah. And we have some very important research to do to really put the finalized connection, because we know definitely, all raised on Church Street, Maggie Madigan, grandfather, born in Askeaton, there's definitely a connection there. What I found out just a month ago is that Patrick Ryan, Bertha Moran, Maggie Madigan also left the little town of Askeaton. It was just revealed to me a month ago to add more, almost insult to the life of Maggie Madigan. Patrick Ryan, there's his tombstone. His body was never found, but his father erected the family tombstone. He says that Pat was lost in Titanic, aged 30 years old. Patrick and Maggie were going to elope in New York. And the last thing that I found out just a month and a half ago, the last thing that Patrick did for Maggie was he took off his coat and he put it around Maggie and she went into the lifeboat. And as it was going down, he basically said his goodbye. And that he said, somehow the family says, he said, I won't be needing this. And Patrick Ryan's body has never been found, had never been found after the rescue. And had looked for all the various people who were drowned aboard the Titanic. His body had never been found. So when I look at this over here, this is the message that Maggie sent. The ship sank, Bertha Moran and I are safe. That's all she sent back to Ireland. And that was the last bit of correspondence that anybody ever had about Maggie Madigan until 2005, when her story broke by Robert Bracken, who I feel honestly influenced by Karen's desire to know what happened to Maggie. That's the last picture that was taken from the boat that went out to bring the people from Queenstown, Ireland, aboard the Titanic, since the Titanic couldn't go right into Queenstown. And when I look at that picture, I know that Maggie's somewhere and Patrick Ryan. I